So I've been getting a lot of questions recently about accelerators, the benefits of accelerators, and people asking me if they should participate in an accelerator. What are the best accelerators? What are the pros of accelerators? What are the cons of accelerators? So I wanted to shoot a video that kind of outlined accelerators, our experience with accelerators, specifically our experience within Techstars. And hopefully this is something that a lot of people can relate to and take some advice and tips from. So in this video, we're going to be talking about the pros of accelerators, all of the benefits that people see and the benefits that we saw ourselves in going through Techstars. And then we're going to be talking about the cons of accelerators. What do you have to give up? What are the drawbacks for joining an accelerator, and why might you not want to do it? If you stick around at the end of the video, I want to talk a little bit about my personal experience within Techstars and why we chose to participate in Techstars. So jumping right in, I'm going to start with some of the benefits of accelerators and why it may be a good idea for you and your business to join an accelerator. The first benefit is the obvious one, which some accelerators have and some accelerators don't have, and that is cash. A lot of the bigger accelerators like Y Combinator and Techstars, they will offer investment in the form of a convertible note or equity. For Techstars, this is an equity contribution of $20,000 and $100,000 that you could choose to take in the form of a convertible note. Now, because these accelerators work with so many different companies, they tend to just blend valuations down. So some companies may get a really, really good deal and get a valuation that's higher than what they would have otherwise raised on, while other companies may have kind of a bad deal. There were companies that went through Techstars with us that were much further along than we were, so for them to take that convertible note, it was at a much lower valuation cap than perhaps they would have liked. For us, on the other hand, it was a really attractive valuation, so we opted to take the note, take the cash, and it really helped us in our fundraising process. Not all accelerators offer cash though. Like I mentioned, some of the bigger accelerators tend to offer cash once you get accepted in the program, but this is by no means standard. There are a lot of accelerator programs out there that don't offer any kind of cash, and their primary value is in access to their network, increased fundraising capabilities, learning resources, et cetera, et cetera. So if you are fundraising, if you're looking to get cash into the business, then that is an obvious pro for doing that. With the caveat being that if you're getting it at a valuation that is attractive for you and your company at that point in time. The second huge benefit to joining an accelerator is access to a global network. Again, this is completely dependent on the accelerators. Some accelerators have amazing network. Techstars' network was absolutely unquestionably incredible. Through their network, we were able to get meetings with people that I never would have been able to dream about getting meetings with without the help of their network. Us being in the financial modeling space, we were able to get in front of CFOs of major household name companies. We were able to talk to some of the best VCs in the world and understand their problems relating to financial modeling. We were able to talk to founders that had started billion-dollar companies and get their thoughts on our business, which is something that would be so incredibly hard to do without access to their network. And this is not unique to Techstars. Most accelerators take great pride in their network, and that is the main asset that they offer to the people that are going through those accelerators. I can speak firsthand to the power of the network. I've said in other videos that I believe that human capital is the most powerful form of capital. And if you can dig in and really try to ingrain yourself into the network of an accelerator, that's going to pay huge dividends down the road. I would make the controversial statement that network access is actually more valuable in a good accelerator than the actual cash component. For us anyway, that was definitely the case. Again, do your research. If network access is important to you, as it should be, you really want to make sure that the accelerator that you're joining has a big network that you can leverage and increase value for your company. Now, the third benefit to an accelerator that I want to talk about is kind of tangential to that network aspect, but this benefit is specifically around access to investors. Good accelerators have a tendency to be very, very competitive. So just to give you an example, Techstars and YCom both have acceptance rates of around 2%. To put this into perspective, this makes it over twice as hard to get into these accelerators than it is to get into Harvard. So whenever you get into great programs like this, it can really affect your clout whenever you're going out and raising money. A lot of really good accelerator programs, even if they don't have acceptance rates of 1 to 2%, they may have really low acceptance rates and provide some clout for your company whenever you're going out and raising money. You can leverage acceptance in some of these accelerator programs to help boost your resume, add clout clout to your business, and it can really help you whenever you're raising money. On top of this, these accelerator programs usually focus really hard on building great relationships with investors. So good accelerator programs can actually put you directly in touch with investors and facilitate meetings. These programs are also usually designed to create a lot of momentum around fundraising. That's why a lot of them have demo days, and they invite a ton of investors to come and watch you pitch. I know for us, we got a lot of investor interest directly after demo day, whenever a lot of investors were able to see us pitch, talk about our business, and communicate our vision. So increased clout and then direct access to investors are huge pluses for joining accelerator programs. Now, let's talk about what you give up whenever you're joining an accelerator. First and foremost, the thing that you're giving up is going to be equity in the program. A lot of accelerator programs ask for anywhere between 4 and 6% equity in exchange for joining the program. For accelerators that are providing cash, a lot of times they'll do so in the form of an equity investment or a convertible note, like I mentioned earlier. In this case, those particular instruments have specific terms, which are then going to allow those accelerators to get even bigger chunks of your cap table. What you have to decide as a founder is this program, is this particular accelerator worth the equity that you're giving up? Because these are not trivial percentages that you talk about in a lot of cases. If you're already a very well-established company, it may give you a little bit of heartburn to be giving up, call it 6% of your company for one of these programs. It's something that you have to think about, and you have to determine if it's the right choice for you. The other thing that you're giving up as a founder whenever you're joining the accelerator program is time. A lot of these accelerator programs force you to be on location and devote a significant portion of your time in order to participate in the program. As an example, for YCOM, they typically are in person and they're out in California. So if you don't live in California, you're going to have to move there in order to participate in the program, even if it is just for 3 months. While you're there, you have to be very engaged. You have to meet with other companies. This is true for Techstars as well. I went through the Techstars Anywhere program, so it was a little bit better in that I didn't have to move, but it did require a decent chunk of time. It was very well spent time, but it's time nonetheless. So it's something that you have to think about. Are you willing to make that time commitment to the accelerator program whenever you join? And those are really the main cons of an accelerator program. It's going to be equity and it's going to be time. If you're willing to give up both of those things, then the accelerator programs are generally worth it. I want to speak a little bit to my personal experience with Techstars and how I felt about it after going through the program. For me, Techstars was an absolute game changer. It probably single-handedly 5x'd my network over the course of 3 months. Because of their network, I can now get a seat at the table with pretty much anybody that I want to that's within reason. It's really bolstered my confidence, and it's given me access to people that have been able to give me such great advice and really further myself as an entrepreneur. On top of that, it really gave our company a ton of street cred. Before we got into Techstars, we were still raising our pre-seed round, and it was kind of taking a while to get cash into the door. As soon as it was announced that we were accepted into Techstars, we were able to close that round very quickly because of the awesome reputation that Techstars has. I joked with my co-founder that they actually earned their equity within the first 2 weeks just because we were able to close so much investment so quickly. I'm currently about 6 months out of Techstars, and even now I'm still able to engage in their network every single day. I'm actively involved in their Slack channels. If there's anybody that I want to meet with, I can usually get an intro through somebody with Techstars. So I often get asked, is Techstars worth it? Are you glad that you went through Techstars? And I always say, absolutely. It was 100% the best career move that I've ever made as an entrepreneur or otherwise. Anyways, guys, I really hope that you all found this helpful. If you have any questions about my personal experience through Techstars or forecasters' experience through Techstars, please feel free to reach out. Also, we're going to be putting out a lot of great content, so please subscribe to the channel, hit the thumbs up button, share the video, and thanks again for watching.